Welcome back. All right, now everyone has to be a part of the political process. And we saw that conversation with Mr. Peter side. Now that also involves getting into the ring itself. Not just voting, but being someone who wants to represent the Nigerian people. And many new faces, so many new faces are popping up. And this particular new face has got me a little worried because I like his movies. And I was wondering if this is going to be a way that we'll now not see any movies from him again. Joining us this morning, Fidelis Duka, who we all know is a film producer, but he is now throwing his hat in the ring. A politician now. The NDC candidate for House of Representatives, Akpabuyo Bakassi and Calabar South.
Yes. Thank you, Kela. Good morning.
It's good to have you on the program.
I have my other address.
How are you going to do? Are you going to do? But just tell me now. Are you dumping movies?
No, I'm not. No.
So you still be doing
politics should not be a permanent job. If you look at our just in the House of Reps and of course the Senate, they sit 3 or 4 times in a week. You are reporting that bit at a point in time.
Yeah.
You know that they don't sit every day. So those days you don't sit, go back to your work. People must have another address. For some of us, that's why we're getting into the play, to change this narrative that politics is a part-time job, they do or die affair. And that's what has caused this problem. Over the years, most of us still on the sideline, either complaining, writing, making articles, using our medium to complain about the system. However, we must get involved, and that's why I'm involved now.
How has it been?
Tasking. A different terrain for me. Different terrain in the... I made that one, my getting involved in politics this time around is not a do or die. It's been, I'm not desperate to lead my people. I'm in the race because I want to offer quality representation. And one of the basic challenges why I even took this bold move is because of my federal constituency. Since 2002, when the Bakassi issue happened, and then by 2006 was seated, and then we had the Green Tree Agreement. If you look at the deplorable state of the Bakassi people, for everybody, I'm from Calabar South, my local government is Calabar South, but for every Calabar South indigene, we have our roots either in Bakassi or Akpabuyo. And that particular area has been so abandoned. Nigeria has forgotten them. And we've had House of Rep members who have represented us in the last 24, 28 years.
Who's the representative there right now?
I don't want to make it personal. But I don't want to make it personal. But his name is Honorable Joseph Bassi.
What party?
It's APC. And that's the funny thing about the elections. And I think we won't make that mistake this time.
Why the NDC?
For 2 reasons. One, I wanted a new political party. 2, I am new. 3, I think it's important that we begin to look at the smaller parties. Everybody wants a ticket on. Look at the controversy happening with major parties now, where even some governors who won tickets have been removed. You get the point? So, not because it was easier to get the ticket on NDC. They have their own challenges too. However, I just wanted a new environment. I wanted somewhere new, and I felt that was a party I could. And it goes beyond any other issue that anybody might think. But for me, I know I represent myself. I will represent my people, and I have what it takes in the capacity, the competence, and the experience. I've been in the corporate world for several years. I've set up businesses. I've been an employer of labor for the past 30 years. Even in the States, in the last 10 years, I've had one of the foremost radio stations that have been running in the States for the past 10 years. So, of course, you mentioned film. I can take my career, the number of people I've produced, filmmakers who are big superstars today. So, I think I have, for some of us, when people see us on the other side, media people, that because we didn't get into this environment in 1999, we made that mistake, and all sorts of people got into the environment.
Yeah.
That's why some of us are getting involved now. We want to change that narrative. We want to be involved and also participate. Your party
had a few issues.
Yeah.
Court cases, issues with factions, the party itself, and then are you an obedient? First of all, let's start from let's even get that out of the way. Are you more loyal to the NDC, or are you a follower of Peter Obi?
Both.
So you're both.
Both.
Okay.
That's important. You see, for me, there must be this convergence. You cannot be an obedient without being a part of NDC, because Peter Obi is part of NDC. He represents us now at the top. He's going for the presidency. So you cannot be an obedient and say you're not NDC. So that's why I said this must be a convergence. There's even a third one, the OK movement. So you must be part of it. The entire, you see, we cannot go into the election with different, for everybody, whether you're an obedient, you're an OK movement, you are all part of the NDC. The NDC is the, you see, even on that day, my name will not be on the ballot. It will be the party. People will go and vote for the party on that day. So the party comes first, in all the movements, the different groups. I was listening to the doctor say, he made a very important point. The young people who are obedient today, who have been part of the obedient movement from 2020, even the last election, even I didn't contest. And I knew my role in the state beyond that. So it is not an issue of being paternalized, saying that you are obedient and not NDC. We are all one.
Okay. The leadership of your party, in fact, just
about the court case.
Well, apart from the court case,
yes.
you can talk to that when you're given the answer.
Yes.
But your party was recently saying, that apart from this complaint about trying to move us into a one-party state, they say INEC is under a lot of pressure to deregister political parties like yours, and then the stifling of opposition in Nigeria. Where do you stand on that conversation?
I've always told people that we will not have one party on the ballot. The opposition will be on the ballot, be it NDC, ADC, Action Congress. All the parties will be on the ballot. These challenges are just hidden challenges that will happen. They will definitely happen. And I'll come back to the court cases. When you look at the issue of the last court judgment that was gotten on the 26th of June rather, it's quite funny. When you look at the issues, I think we've addressed the issue, the national leader of the party, the national secretary, everybody has addressed the issues. The PMP that went to court to challenge the issue. About the logo? The logo is quite funny. Is it? Yes, I'll tell you why. They applied to INEC, they were not registered. Automatically, they were not there. When this case came up, they were not a part to the case. We knew the parts of the case. It was INEC and the NDC. The NDC went to court, and the court gave a judgment. Even before the NDC went there, you will recall that even the APC, the ruling party, had gone to INEC to complain about the same logo. That the logo looks similar. That you have the NDC logo, which has the victory sign, and there's also a hand carrying a broom. Of course, when the INEC went to court, INEC even stood by the NDC and said, look, the two symbols or logos are different. Automatically, the court gave that judgment that the party was now listed on the INEC portal as a party, registered. Which, of course, if you go to the portal, you will see and registered by court judgment. It doesn't even matter. They are on the portal. And then, of course, on the 26th of June, when we were supposed to get our code, access code, that was when this judgment came out. Do you have the, we've gotten it. You've gotten your access codes now? The NDC have gotten their code. Even the INEC can confirm that they have given all the parties their access code. Okay. Because we've even gone back to court. So you're able to upload now on your Of course, yes. We have even submitted my nomination forms to the party. All right. So we went to court. It's a state prosecution of the judgment. We also have an appeal at the appeal court for the same judgment. So it's not an issue. For me, the NDC will be on the ballot. Nobody should be bothered. I think for me, it's just distractions. I told a couple of my colleagues who are also candidates of the party that, look, what is happening now is basically distraction. And you should expect that the ruling party will not sit with their failures. Let's be very sincere. They have failed. Look at this morning. We had the IMF report. How can you spend beyond the budget? 8.3 trillion. How can you?
Well, my colleague in Lagos has a few questions for you. Go ahead, Ayo.
Well, thank you, Kayla. You know, professionally, those of us in this industry, we call ourselves by first name. Ordinarily, professionally, I should be calling you Fidelis, but now I have to call you Mr. Duka because soon you will become, if you are elected, you become honorable. So, and I can't just say, you know. So that's on the one side. The issue for me here is you've talked about the newer parties, they need to give them some visibility and all of that. But it would seem like a few of these political parties, the ones we are hearing their voices now, they are all because of one individual's movement. When Mr. Peter Obi went to the Labour Party, it had a lot more traction than it has ever had. We knew the Labour Party was active because it was the platform upon which Governor Mimiko came into office earlier on in this Fourth Republic. Then he went to the ADC, which had existed before then as well, but largely unknown, even though they had a member of the House of Representatives, you know, on their platform. And now the NDC, which has just been recently recently registered, and here we are, even with all the court cases and all of that still ongoing. So sometimes people wonder whether these political parties have any agenda different from just getting people into office, just getting into power, so that they can get some money from the people that they sponsor into the offices, House of Reps, House of Assembly, presidency, you name it. What are your thoughts on that? Because for anyone to choose to vote the NDC, they should know the NDC, but hitherto, it's almost like it never existed.
Okay, let me quickly respond to that. Political parties are made up of individuals. No political party can act in isolation. I recall in 2013, 2014, when the APC was formed, 5 governors from the PDP, led by the candidate of the ADC today, Atiku Abubakar, moved into the APC and, of course, joined the president's group, and it became a major force with, of course, the people from. See, for any political party, every movement, Peter Obi moved in, Kwankwaso moved in, NDC became a viable force. The same thing with the ADC. Even the action, what's they called, the Showores party, they're making waves now. See, for me, what is key and what is important, and like you said, is for people to understand that even when you get into a political party, make yourself as relevant as the party. You must be able to go out there and tell your people what you want to do for them. What are the differences you want to put forward compared to what has been happening in the past? So for me, that's essentially what is more key than talking about people moving because of an individual. That's why they are joining the party. That's my position on that issue.
You know, another issue that I'd like to take on that same matter is this same relevance thing. There are a good number of political parties that we have. There are those who are wondering, for instance, recently the federal government was considering, look, maybe we should just, there was a move made to INEC to say we should just deregister some of these political parties in line with the constitution and the laws of the land. If you don't have any elected official, you shouldn't really be there. So that's the part of the argument that the number of people are looking at. Now, younger people, newer people, professionals such as yourself are getting into the saddle now. And there are questions as to how much that will change anything if you guys don't go into politics en masse. In trickles, it will just be there. You must have also listened to Mr. Tedopita's side, saying that, look, if young people vote en masse, they will make a statement. But to a large extent, that hasn't been happening. Do you think the entrance of newer people such as yourself and a good number of other people like that will make a difference? So far, that I think is what Mr. Peter Obi has going for him. Do you see that happening? Okay, do you see young people being mobilized accordingly?
Two-point question. The first one is about the number of parties. I will say, and I will still feel that Nigerians should have more parties. I'll tell you why. Look at what has happened in the last couple of months now. People are running from one party to another party. The only beauty of the new electoral law is that restriction now that if you go to a primaries, you cannot move to another political party. I seem to like that part. Would have had a major issue where people will be, if you lose here, you move to another party because of your desperation to have a ticket. So I think the number of parties is not even the issue. At the end of the day, even with the number of parties, we saw the election that happened in Ekiti recently. How many of the parties were on the ballot? Most of them didn't have candidates. So it's not even an issue. So you give people a right to, people have even asking for independent candidacy. If there were many more people who would have even, like you mentioned, ventured into this race. Then the second part about young people. Young people, of course, is very important. And the beauty of it is this new extension and the new arrangement. One of the biggest challenges we faced with the CVR that's been going on, the continuous visual that's been going on, even in my state, in Bakassi and my further constituency, is the challenge of network. People go to the INEC limited INEC equipments to work with. They have limited ones. They have only 2 or 3 systems to work with, and you find it very difficult for them to register people. You have close to 1,000 people in a day, and then you can't register more than 200 because of the time and the number of equipments. Now, with the new arrangement, now where people can go online personally and do you will see more young people go out there. what we need to do is to sensitize them. We, the candidates, is our job beyond INEC to also go out there and tell more people to vote. We are doing that already in Cross River State, in my constituency, going door to door, meeting young people, going to the schools and telling them, look, you have to go out there and register. You can do it on your own, on your phone, on your laptop, on your iPad, and of course, just go and do your biometrics. So I think I must commend INEC for this initiative. It's brilliant. When I saw it last week, I was excited. I said, good. It makes it a bit more easier and transparent for everybody to go out there and register. So you will see more young people. And then, of course, for those who want to come into the fray, I think it's not as... When I was outside, I was so worried. I was scared that we've heard so many things that you need to be a money bag. I have no money. Maybe you will support me with the money, you and Keller. I don't have money. We are just journalists and professionals, filmmakers.
I was actually going to ask you if you've been following the recent elections and the complaints about vote buying and selling.
It must happen.
So, you know, with systematic poverty, and this was the issue.
You just captured it.
Yes, with systematic poverty, it's weaponized in many areas, and people have no choice. Or they have a choice, but they just won't make that choice. They won't make the right choices because they are hungry. You know, so it doesn't justify their behavior, but it's a weapon. It's being used. And this is going on. Whether people want to admit that it's going on or not, they have to realize that this is fact. How do you, as a party that is full of ideologies and, you know, thinking about and not going to share money, you know, how are you going to beat that that machinery that's been going on for a while? One,
let's differentiate vote buying and funding an election campaign. And I will address the issue of vote buying. Even vote buying, that the law is criminal. We expect that the security agencies and law enforcement agencies should be able to apprehend those. We saw it in Nekisi, the last election in Nekisi. It happened. Some even came online with displaying what they got as from the election. Yes, people, the economy is bad. The system, people are so poor. We've so impoverished our people that even for a loaf of bread, we saw when they were throwing Indomie and loaf of bread for them. It's so painful. But you see, I also know in my last few months of engaging the people, people are tired. People want a system that works for them. People want a system where the hospitals work for them, where they can have their children in school, where they can, the basics. And that is why it's a function of the leadership. And when I mean leadership, I'm not talking about the president now. Even those of us in the House of Reps who will be in the House of Reps, those of us who are councillors, everybody has a role to play in making Nigerians forget vote buying. Then okay.
Well, we are out of time, but I have to thank you so much, Fidelis Duka, politician, NDC.
Filmmaker. I said something.
Yes.
Even when I get into the house,
yes,
I don't want the word honorable added to my name.
Okay.
I remain Fidelis Duka.
All right.
Thank you.
So Fidelis Duka, politician, filmmaker, NDC candidate for House of Representatives, Akpabuyo, Bakassi, and Kalabasa.
We'll make Nigeria great.
And that's all the time that we have this Monday morning. Hey, it's going to be a great week. Have a great attitude. I'm Kayla Magwa. See you next time.
Kayla, it's like Fidelis forgot that we are journalists. We have to add the title whether you like it or not. Anyway, until that time, I'm Ayo Makinde. Enjoy the rest of your day. Business Morning is on the hour.